Welcome back to our alumni chat. My name is Julia Cuttone, and I'm one of the Baruch Sports Information interns. Alongside me as co-host today is Assistant AD and Sports Information Director John Neves. Today we have our former Baruch College two-sport athlete. Most people know her as Michele Runko, and today she goes by Michele Morelli. With that, I welcome Michele.
Hi! Nice to see you guys.
Michele Morelli was a Baruch Bearcat from 2007 to 2011. During her time at Baruch College, she won a CUNYAC Basketball Championship in 2008 and was a part of the first ever CUNYAC Softball Championship team in 2010. Today, she works as the Director of Administration with the Office of Special Commissioner of Investigation in New York City. With that, I'm going to go into my first question. What was it like being a two-sport athlete at Baruch College?
So that was my freshman year of college, and I was used to that in terms of high school, really growing up. But it definitely took a different turn come college. A lot more responsibility, a lot more at stake. You know, you're preparing for now your life, your career. And so it was a lot, but I wouldn't change it for anything. It was exciting. I made great friends and an experience that just nothing holds to it.
What would you say is your favorite memory as a student athlete?
My favorite memory was definitely winning the first ever CUNYAC Championship as a softball player. I was one of the co-captains, and that feeling, there's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. You know, to play 3 games in a row, you know, the day before it getting too dark to finish, it was just, there was nothing more exciting. And I have to say my second one, I didn't hit a home run until my last at bat as a senior of the regular season softball season. That was also unreal. I couldn't believe that was happening.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't know that, but if I remember correctly, Friday night, from that weekend we won the championship, I can't remember if we didn't finish that game or we lost that game. And then you went into that Saturday, you played, I think it was either John Jay or Lehman in the elimination game.
I believe it was John Jay.
Yeah. Then you beat John Jay.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got to play Staten Island twice.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to beat them both twice.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I remember Melissa Pena's home run. And
Yes.
I remember her rounding the bases, and she was like screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a runaway train. You guys could not be stopped.
No, it just, the momentum kept going, and it was amazing. You couldn't come together more as a team than that day. We were all hurting and aching, but the adrenaline was, you couldn't beat it. There was nobody that could get in our way.
Remember that very well. Yeah.
What did it feel like to win 2 CUNYAC championships in different sports?
It was exciting. I mean, and on 2 different levels. So for basketball, I mean, again, the starting 5 was out of control. I mean, they, again, unstoppable. And, you know, as a freshman, it wasn't my strongest sport. So softball definitely was stronger for me. But to be a part of that and to travel with the team and just to be there to support and get to that level, again, it's just 2 completely different experiences. But again, I wouldn't change it for anything. Yeah.
How are you able to balance 2 sports and academics?
A lot of sleepless nights. It was quite a bit, especially when there was the overlap of seasons. So we had basketball, because we went into playoffs, because we won the championship. There was now additional practices, 6-7 days a week, and then piggybacking with softball because we were preparing for the season. So sometimes it was 2 a days and on top of 3 or 4 classes, depending on what the schedule looked like. So it was early mornings, late nights. And to this day, I still don't know how I did it at that point, because I don't think I could do it again.
If there was one day that you could relive as a Bearcat, what would it be and why?
That's a tough one. There's quite a few days I would relive, but for one, definitely the championship. Like I said, that feeling is immeasurable. And just the women that I played with, the coaching staff, it was a family times 10. That for one. And we used to do a getaway trip, like a bonding trip. And I'm terrified of heights. And we did one weekend where it was strictly all high ropes and all of that. But I would relive that again because the team also came together for me. And that was something that I will never take for granted. It was amazing.
So what advice do you give to our student athletes who are uncertain whether or not they're going to have a season?
So that is definitely a tough one because, with everything going on now, that's an outlet. That's its own therapy, being a part of a team and enjoying seasons together. But you know what? At the end of the day, I would say keep in touch with one another. That's the biggest thing. Create that strong relationship off the field because that's what's going to carry on to the field when you can start playing again. So that's my strongest advice, and continue to keep on your academics because that is also what is going to matter in the future on top of it all.
And then my next question is, what is your current job today?
So I'm a director of administration with the Office of the Special Commissioner of Investigation for the New York City School District, in short, SCI. So at this point, I handle any type of human resources, HR matters. I office manage. We investigate the Department of Education on a variety of levels. So I do work for the city of New York, and it was not my career path initially, but it did become something that I enjoy and really love to do. My background, as I've mentioned to you, was journalism and a minors with psychology and communications. And then I got my master's in mental health and vocational rehab counseling. So this is definitely a veer off of that, but I truly enjoy the job and it is exciting. I work with a great staff.
It's great. And then what do you think students can do during their time at Baruch College to make sure that they have a job in line after graduation? Network.
That is the biggest thing. Keep contacts with people, reach out to different entities, whatever it may be, especially for internships. You want to put yourself out there and do whatever you can to make your name known. So that's very important. So for future, anything in the future.
And then do you still follow the progress of the teams at Baruch College?
Yes, Instagram is a big one for me, but I do check the website, and I love watching specifically Baruch softball grow. It was amazing to see one of my former athletes, Melanie Pellegrino, coach and everything, and Nicole. I mean, that was amazing, and just to see the rebuild, I feel like Baruch is setting up again for a crazy dynamic and to again bombard CUNY. So that's so exciting.
How would you say your life changed during the pandemic?
It's changed a lot. My husband and I are, thank goodness we own a home and we're able to, work in two separate spaces in the home, but it was very difficult in terms of, family. We're both very family oriented. So keeping in touch and seeing people has been really difficult as everything's at a distance. When we're big huggers. So this has been hard. Even with work, I do still have to travel into the city from time to time. And and you just don't know. The unknown is what the scary part is of it all. So, but we're making the best of it and we're doing what we can. And I do have 2 dogs and they keep me busy. So things could be a lot worse. So I'm very grateful.
And then my last question for you is, how has being a student athlete at Baruch College made you the person that you are today?
It's made me adaptable, stronger in so many ways. Working with a bunch of different personalities. I have to say, it's just, Baruch really set me up for success in not only professionally, but personally. And again, Baruch has made my life what it is at this point.
John, are there any more additional questions you would like to add?
Absolutely. I want to ask one very important question. Before we started this Zoom,
Sure.
I had mentioned to you that, I remember very well the years that you were an undergraduate athlete, 07 through 11, because the talent we had across the board during that time, I think one of those years, we won 8 or 9 championships, was incredible. But obviously softball made its mark. And one of the big reasons why softball made its mark was Jose Negroni, of course. And Jose, of course, was, he was the coach. He took over Baruch during a very tough time back in the early 2000s. Along with Penny Wiener, really helped grow the program, Anthony Rodriguez. And I hope I'm not missing anybody else, but there were various people. And then, of course, that, led to winning the championship in 2010. What's your best memory of Jose Negroni, who was one of the best coaches we had during that generation?
Oh, that's a tough question. There's, again, quite a few, but I will go back to when we went away one year. I believe it was just before junior year. So that was the year that we did win the championship. That was my junior year. And that was when we did, again, the high ropes and all of those things. And one thing that sticks in my head is he pushed me, and he was like, "You're going to do this or you're not going to be co-captain." And I was like, what? I was like, "What do you mean?" And he just lit the fire for me. He made sure that I was going to be successful, whatever it is. Even if there was fear standing in my way, he made sure I was going to be successful. And he did that with everybody. He was very warm, welcoming. He brought us to a family state, and along with Penny, along with Anthony. But it wouldn't have happened without him and his knowledge and his drive.
Yeah, it was, Jose was very special. And, he passed away in 2019 in May. And I know that was felt across the Baruch softball community. But I just want to say, I remember you very well. And when, Julia came to me and said, "Yeah, we got Michele Morelli." I said, "Michele Morelli?" And then I realized, oh, wait, are you heard about Michele Runko? So
yes.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
I hear from a lot of Bearcats that have graduated how proud they were to be a Bearcat. But certainly we remember you fondly. And, there's a lot of history at Baruch, and you're certainly a part of it. So I want to thank you for being one of our alumni. When I think about the softball team, there's so many names that come to my mind. Idalisa Uveris. I was telling some of our softball girls currently, she was an assistant. She was one of our great players, and she played for the Dominican national team. She was also an assistant, so I don't want to forget to mention her from that era.
You're right. When she did work with Jose, I do remember that after we graduated.
Yeah, and I also remember Julia, of course, is one of our pitchers along with Victoria Kissling, and I'm like, you guys got a lot to do to catch up to, Anthony Pepper and Lynn Schiano.
They were staples.
So I wanted to give everybody a shout out, and again, apologize if I didn't mention everybody. But I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this Zoom chat. As always, JC, great job. Julia, of course, is really eager to get on the field.
I can imagine.
I want to thank everybody for listening. This will, of course, will be available whenever on our YouTube channel, Baruch Athletics. It will also be available on Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, Anchor FM, and if you go to BaruchAthletics.com, you get the last, all the information. Michele, we'll end it. Any final comments? Any words of last encouragement to the Bearcat community?
Sure. Keep practicing. Keep having that love for the sport, whatever it is, whether it be softball, basketball, swimming, whatever it is, and enjoy every moment of Baruch, every moment, because you don't get it back. And as much as I was like, I can't wait to be finished with school, I would do it over again in a heartbeat, because the family, the way things were, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Keep thriving, keep doing what you're doing, and stick with one another. That's the best advice I can give.